Good morning. I'm Theresa Shaw, and thank you for joining me for devotions today. Well, we're in the fifth week of Lent, and today, again, I'm going to come from um, Living Well Through Lent that comes from the Living Compass. Clothe yourself with compassion. As God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience. And that comes from Galatians 3:12. Jesus calls us to love our neighbors as ourselves. His call is one of the two great commandments to love God and to love our neighbor as ourselves. While Jesus doesn't direct us as his followers to do this, we are wise to realize that not only is offering compassion to others central to our faith, but it is also fundamental to our well being. Who would have thought that compassion to others would have something to do with our well being? The practice of compassion is both a fruit of and a contributor to well being. To realize the truth of this, we need only think of a time when our hearts and emotions have been tense, anxious, angry, and constricted. When we feel like this is our smaller ego based self. And when our smaller self is dominant, it is important to recognize that our well being is com- comprised and that we are not in a place to enhance another's well being. Now, if you think of a time when your larger spiritual self was dominant, this is the self that responds from an expanded heart and soul. From this expanded place, as the words of the scripture above say, we are able to clothe ourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience. Just as we can decide how to dress ourselves each day in order to look our best, we can also decide to clothe ourselves with loving actions, including compassion, in order to respond from the heart. Can you recognize your smaller ego, that anger, versus the larger spiritual self, where you feel good and compassionate about others? Well, what might help you make a choice to clothe yourself with more compassion each and every day? So, this gives us something to think about this week, and that is our compassion for others. I'm Theresa Shaw, and thank you for joining me for devotions today. Have a great